Hi, this is Gerald Orlees, and today I am with the amazing Khim Choong. Now, before you were an acupuncturist, you were a registered nurse, is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I was a registered nurse for 17 years.
What made you get into nursing initially?
I always loved biology. I was always fascinated with the body. Okay, but going into nursing made me realize that I really wanted to help people.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I loved, helping them and trying to get them feeling better and all that. And I also found that I loved studying more about the body.
Right.
The anatomy part of physiology fascinated me, so all that was really great. So I actually thought I found my calling. I wanted to specialize, and so I went and did a course in critical care nursing
Okay.
in London. And it was a very high pace, very stressful environment. And that made me think about different things too. You were working with people who are very, very sick.
Right.
Who, lots of life and death situations. You had to think fast, you had to act fast. And, although that was enjoyable in a way that it kind of fed my need to, to learn more and everything. But I also realized that people were so sick that it was something missing there. But then sometimes, people were so badly off, and you kind of question why they got to that stage in the first place. Why did they have to have a, four-vessel bypass surgery? Why did they have to have liver failure or kidney failure and, all those kinds of things? That Western medicine really does excel in these kinds of situations where people are so, in these emergency situations where you have to save a life. But there are many situations where you question, how did people get that sick, and can we do something? So it made me want to look at how can we get in preventive medicine. What is preventive medicine? How do we get people healthy so that they don't get to that stage where they're going to need these very heroic, type of
Pharmacological
interventions, and they come at a cost. I needed to take a little sabbatical at that time, from critical care nursing. So at that time, I became very interested in just, taking a step back, learning a little bit more about my culture, and, studying Mandarin,
Okay. Yeah.
Chinese. Yeah. And that led me to exploring going to Taiwan for a little stint to study more Chinese and kind of immerse myself back in the Chinese culture.
Right.
So I did that. And in the course of being in Taiwan, I became exposed to acupuncture and herbal medicine. And of course, growing up, I always had some herbal medicine because, my family, would use certain herbs and decoctions, whenever we got sick. But then I got exposed to acupuncture, and I thought, wow, this is amazing stuff. It works, and then. I got exposed more to herbal medicine. I started, shadowing, acupuncturist doctors and herbalists in Taiwan, and seeing their clinics and seeing, wow, this stuff works, and hey, no side effects mostly, really, and some of the results are pretty instantaneous with acupuncture. So I started to study acupuncture. I started to look at. There is Chinese medicine, and 5,000 years old, as I tell my patients, hey, they wouldn't be doing it if it didn't work,
They probably would have quit maybe at the first 1,000 years or the second 1,000 years.
That's right, they probably wouldn't be continuing with this, right? I mean, would you do something that doesn't work?
For 5,000 years?
Yes, then everybody laughs, of course. Yeah, so then I came back, I started studying a little bit over there, and then I came back to the States, and so I went to American College of Traditional Chinese Medicine because I liked that program. They incorporated the herbal and the acupuncture part together.
So now you've got your years working in the ER as a nurse. You're training in pharmacology. You know about all the potential complications.
Oh, yes.
You've now discovered from your experience in Taiwan about acupuncture and herbology, which is literally you're seeing in front of your very own eyes results, healing results without side effects. And now you've then gone to school, you've taken it upon yourself, and you're practicing acupuncture and herbology according to how the schools taught it. And then at that point, were you still satisfied? Were you just like, okay, this handles everything? Does this handle every single case that comes into your office? So where were you at that point?
Okay.
Maybe you could talk a little bit about how there was a flyer and brought to your attention more about, the nutrition aspect of things.
Right. So as a practitioner, you never stop learning, really, There's always, for example, Chinese medicine is 5,000 years old, so how can you get 5,000 years worth of information in 4 years school? Right. Of course you can't, right? So even that alone, there's so much more intricacies, in Chinese medicine. But I also started looking at, because we learned dietetics or, nutrition in Chinese medicine school too. So it wasn't emphasized a lot, but, it is there. And you learned about all the energetic, properties of foods and how that you can incorporate that. And then as I, started studying more and looking at, our patients today, and yes, there are successes for sure to encourage me to keep going. But then there are also frustrations, like there were some cases where it frustrated me that these people are not getting better and, something's not right, and all that. That always spurs you to do more education because you think, well, okay, what can I do better for these people? How can I help them more, And one day I got this a letter inviting me to a seminar by Standard Process. And so that was how I, got started. And then Gerald entered the scene, and and so I was starting to attend some of the the study groups because they're very helpful, I find. And then we wanted more education, and so I think that's actually very important for a new practitioner is attending the seminars, having seminars that are very relevant, because that's how you learn.
Who's one of your favorites?
Well, one of my all-time favorites, who is dearly departed now, is Dr. Dobbins.
Michael Dobbins.
Yeah. And of course, I've learned a lot from Rhonda Nelson, and Gerald, of course.
Yeah.
Here.
Okay. Yes, I do talk.
And Dr. Stuart White.
Yeah.
Michael Gita. Many people. And they're all excellent.
Now, when I first started working with you, I think it started roughly 2009. You were very much in tune with. You're already very knowledgeable about the formulas because I think by then you had maybe 2 to 3 years already of attending seminars.
Yeah.
And then you're also very well versed in all labs. From functional blood chemistry, saliva testing, hair mineral analysis. Maybe some urine analysis, and then genetic testing. But you were very, what I was amazed when I first met you is that you were already possessed a very dominant, proficient level of knowledge about how to use the formulas. And you combine that with modern day assessment tools, that are objective, highly respectable because medical doctors use them. And you're combining that with the traditional diagnostic assessment tools of TCM, pulse, tongue, and all and palpation. Yeah. And all of that combined really made me see the value of, wow, this is a complete holistic practitioner who understands the West as well as the East and got a system of muscle response testing in your office. You started implementing, getting good successes. You've got a more precise protocol. You've got a smaller program that's more, that's more addressing targeted. Yeah.
And then, and guidance, from people like Gerald, who are very, very good at, just, taking you step by step, giving you the information and helping you along. And yeah, Gerald, you really did, I needed to grow my business, but I was scared actually, because I used to do everything myself. I'd see the patients, I'll check them out, I'd give them their herbs, all that. But consequently, I couldn't see as many people because, I had to do everything. and but and when I realized, yes, I really do need to hire someone to help me, and so Gerald was very good about coaching me, how to look at the resumes, how to even put an ad on Craigslist, what I should be looking for, helping me figure that out, and and interviewing. I've never hired anybody before, and you're like scared, well, what if you pick the wrong person, and and so all these fears can really stop you from progressing.
Right.
So Gerald's very good about, come on, let's we can do this, and so thank you. I really appreciate all that hand holding and help and all that, and all the systems that you put in place to help, and then the staff training. So you come once a month and you train my staff, help her be able to do different things, systems in place or something like that, and I think that is very important. The key to successful practice is having good support, and learning all these things, and then as I grow some more, we'll go to the next step. Do I need to hire more people, or
I think you know the answer.
What kind of help do I need, and all that, and because so that we can accommodate and help more people. Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's great. I mean, I enjoy what I do. I love coming to work, and part of it is being able to see people improve and heal and be excited about their life. We see people transformed, and then they bring their children, their husband, their brothers, and their neighbors come.
I love coming in this office because there are very few practitioners who have established themselves very clinically proficient. You understand the pharmacology, you understand the herbology, you understand the nutrition and the acupuncture. Among other tools, you have moxa and cupping. And then you have also the patient management skills. You have the ability to communicate with your patients and educate them. You now do patient education lectures on a regular basis. You have a newsletter. You have your front office educating the patients as well. So the patient education and communication is phenomenal. And that's something that I also appreciate that you have. And then you've also taken upon to really grow yourself as a wellness clinic director, the practice management, to be a true CEO who knows how to build systems so that when you come here, you just show up. You show up for your patients, you show up for your team, your staff, and then you go home knowing that, okay, we helped more people today. So I really appreciate what you're doing. I really love our once a month conference calls.
Yes.
And and I love just seeing the success stories that your patients share with you and that you share with me, as well as with our online forum with the other hundreds of holistic doctors who are doing the exact same thing. So I want to say thank you for doing what you're doing, and I look forward to doing more.
Thank you very much, Gerald, and thanks for all your support and your help.